So let's jump right into it. Three wonderful presentation, really quick deep dive into a vast technology and so many things happening. A technology that is highly disruptive and could be, changing a lot of industries along the way. But then again, why is 3D printer not at every home? Do you have any views on that when it happens? And
I can say that it's definitely the thing about about anything new is that it doesn't go from 0 to 100 in a little bit. Like the revolution doesn't happen overnight. Obviously, it's just a matter of time. For sure, what I can say is that the number of 3D printers is constantly growing, and my opinion is that it's just gonna continue to grow indefinitely. There's no limit to how much it can grow. But it's the main thing is that it's a matter of time. For sure, it's a big issue for education too, I'm sure.
Yeah, I would say, just to reiterate what I said in my presentation, I think not many homeowners have got the ability to create things. It's all well and good having a printer, but if you can't use it, what good is it? It's just a box on a table, a box in the corner. And I don't think there's a proliferation of downloading sites available at the moment so they can download files to print. So for me, I think having a printer in your home is a great idea if you can do something with it.
There's also another element which I see. It's the pricing issue. So I can say that pricing in 3D printers are now going lower and lower and lower, and it will keep on going down, especially the one for consumer business. So what's going to happen is, give an example. 3 years ago, we bought a printer of 3,000 euros. Today, we bought an upgraded version of that printer at 600 euros. And very, very soon, we will be seeing printers which are cheaper than that, very cheap. And that is when the people who have knowledge on designing will start to say, look, okay, let me give it a try. Let me buy one, like as a normal printer we have at home.
All right.
It's a matter, I'm sorry, it's also a matter of, if you want to make a mass market product, you need mass market companies making those products, which is happening. HP is into 3D printing now, but obviously it's starting from a very, very high level. But at the same time, the smaller companies are evolving. So, you will have eventually a product that is really accessible to a lot more people.
All right. So now we are completely in very beginning, right? But let's jump 5 years from now. What do you think, where would we be in 5 years with this technology?
We will definitely see different type of products and different type of complete different designs that what we're seeing today and what we're accustomed to. I think we're really touching the surface right now with regards to an extra tool, an available tool that we're going to have in our portfolio. But because eventually in the future, a complete different mindset of how are we going to start designing our own products, we will see from now to the 5 years, we will see complete different shapes and forms that we will see because of this tool available now in hands.
Also, we're talking about Moore's law so much for computers. The doubling of the processing power every so often, which is actually, some say it's slowing down or it's not going to. Well, with 3D printing, you have something similar. Every 2 years, it is digital manufacturing, so every 2 years, the speed and size capabilities of the more advanced 3D printers does double. So, the costs go down. So this is, it's exponential growth. So in 5 years, you will see, every year we see a lot of evolution in the technology. So it's not going to happen overnight, but there is a lot of evolution. The technology is evolving fairly rapidly. It's a complex, you're working with matter, so it's complex to work with actual physical products.
I think in education, you're at a real fork in the road. I think we could either be at one place or another. You could either be still sat here in 5 years talking about how great it is and why someone's still not implementing it. Right. But those changes have got to come from, I guess, a governmental level in how they set out their curriculums. Or if they get it right, you could be where we are or beyond, and kids could be empowered with this tool. And created some fantastic things, and learning and developing a real additive mindset and how to design for an additive manufacturing technology.
A bit of sidewalk here. I mean, to catch up China, whose problem is it? Is it government's problem? Is it entrepreneurs' problem? Is it community problem? What should we do to catch up?
From my perspective, we as teachers and educational establishments, we can only follow the rules that are set. We can't just veer off a tangent and say we want to do this because we see the benefits of that. We have to follow curriculums, and it depends who's writing those curriculums and what their agendas are.
I can say also, we talk about catching up China, and for some things it's absolutely true, but we talked about like Europe. I heard presentations saying about what Europe can do. Europe is by far the biggest additive manufacturing market at an industrial level, because the highly specialized production. If you put all European countries together, it's by far the biggest adopters of 3D printing.
But it seems like in a few years, the
China is investing at an education level much more, for sure.
So where is the opportunities for entrepreneurship? Where are the biggest gaps? What should we do?
Definitely from an industry perspective, definitely we need to see a lot of new materials that needs to come along. We need to see a completely different mindset on how we create things in a completely different way. So we need to think completely differently, and especially when it comes to the designing. So not even on the 3D printing. It's actually a step before whereby we need to start designing completely differently. I'm seeing examples every time. Every time we put a 3D printer, everyone tries to copy what they're actually doing today and try to put it and print it on a 3D printer, which is completely wrong. It needs to be designed specifically for 3D printing. In the aerospace business, this is being now very accepted for obvious benefits because they're thinking of weight, and weight is one of their main priority for them. But we can see that as an example and introduce it into different other industries.
Also, as you saw from my presentation very quickly, I mean, it totally lowered the cost of prototyping. So inventing a new product is a lot cheaper now, a new physical product. And also, to a degree, the cost of putting a new product on the market, so doing some low-level production, is also much lower. Okay, these are 3D printed, but this is a store that they design eyewear, and they used, in their business they expanded to new possibilities using some additive manufacturing. They launched new designs in much more quickly and.
So I'm hearing. Using technology for service providing, basically I'm hearing new materials for the industry. Also software or the new way how the things are designed. Anything in education?
Yeah, I think there are two possibilities. I mentioned in my slide, schools can become centres, they can become 3D print hubs, a real community, and that can bring revenue back into the school. We're underfunded as it is, so any other way of making money is always a good thing. And I was thinking earlier on when we were talking about this, and we've had business study students, not design and technology students, who've come to us with an idea of a product that they want to take to market. So the ability to prototype and iterate is a real plus for them as well.
All right. Just quick final question would be, if someone wants to adopt it, what should they think of? Like technology in their company or at home?
Just really quickly, I mean, I wanted to mention your example. Like you started with just getting a 3D printer, a low-cost 3D printer. It opens up, it lets you start thinking in a new way.
It's exactly what we did at our manufacturing facility, whereby we actually said, look, okay, this is interesting. We really don't know where we're going to be using 3D printing. We just bought a simple printer. We gave it to the engineers and let them use it and let them think where they can actually come and how they can actually adopt it. And today from one, we have 9 printers running, and they use it on a daily basis.
For me, learn how to use the software.
All right.
Of course, simple as that.
We hope to see this technology in Maltese schools as well.
Very good.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.